Prologue. The blades circled slowly at first, then began to turn faster and faster as the helicopter lifted up into the sky, so big and blue and open, the kind of sky that defines the American West. From where I sat inside the helicopter, I could see the San Juans jutting up from under heavy snow and thick carpets of frozen pine. And after we cleared the groomed slopes of the ski area, there was nothing to see other than unbroken wilderness. So this is heli-skiing, I thought, as excitement began to overtake the nerves I'd felt all morning, my stomach churning nearly as much as the deafening blades overhead. Steadying myself, I aimed my video camera lower, directly down and out the glass floor of the cockpit, peering at the outside world through my viewfinder. I could feel it, too, a familiar kind of vertigo as we sped higher and higher up alongside the mountains into the rarefied air. The trip, the air, my mind, my life in that moment, it all felt as dizzying as the view. For a moment, I thought about my husband, Billy, whom I'd split with again, and hoping this trip to Telluride would wake him up to the reality that he might actually lose me. I had agreed in a moment of daring do to go heli-skiing, leaping onto a craggy peak to ski untouched powder with a group of friends that included a ruggedly handsome man who may or may not have been in love with me, and who eventually would impact my life in unimaginable ways. The date, I'll never forget, was April 1st, 1994, April Fool's Day. And after finishing a required course on the dangers of heli-skiing and then strapping a transponder to my chest in case of an avalanche, I had begun to wonder if I was the one being foolish. The weather report had called for snow that afternoon, and when I asked my friends if we should still go into the backcountry, they promised me it was worth it, that I just had to see the landscape and experience what it was like to make first tracks, and that we'd be back before the storm. They were right about the first promise. The landscape was incredible, and the ride was thrilling. And when we were finally over the spot where we wanted to land, on a small and narrow saddle between two peaks, the pilot swung the helicopter around to make sure the landing was clear, and then took us out over the mountains and into a tight turn. That's when the helicopter suddenly swooped, flipping my stomach the way it can when you drop down the sheer side of a roller coaster. "Is that normal?" I yelled over the racket of the rotor blades. But I never got an answer, my words becoming the last intelligible ones you can hear on the video recording, which somehow, miraculously, survived the crash. In the next instant, there was a loud popping, as if something had broken, and the helicopter just dropped, plummeting out of the sky like an elevator whose cables had been cut. "Oh my God, we're crashing," I thought, as I saw the ground speeding up towards us, the boulders appearing larger and closer by the second. "This is not a special effect. This is really happening. If I die like this, my parents are gonna kill me." That's when I remembered I'd written down my parents as my emergency contacts on the forms we all had to fill out that morning, printing in neat lettering next to their names and phone number the instructions: "Please be gentle and break the news slowly." I had known. I had had a feeling. Then I heard Billy's voice ring into my head as clear as a bell, with something he used to